year 6 for you, is that right?
Yeah. Yep.
You on a second master's degree, or?
Not quite yet. This year I'm just kind of focusing on ball, taking some other classes, just kind of add to my major. I plan on coaching eventually, so I'll get the master's degree down the line, being a GA somewhere.
Why did you decide to come back?
I mean, there's a lot of reasons. One, me personally, I felt like I had a lot of room to grow still as a player. A lot still out here that I could develop on before taking the next step to the league. Two, I mean, when I came in here, it was Coach Smith's first recruiting class. A lot of things were starting to change, and I really wanted to be a part of that change. Wanted to be a part of kind of taking Oregon State back to the top. And after the bowl game last year, I just felt like there was a lot left on the field, a lot of stuff that I had came here to do, and I still hadn't done. So I felt like it was the only right thing for me personally to come back and to finish what I started.
It looks like you're moving inside more than likely this year. Did you prefer to play tackle or guard? Do you feel like that's one is a more natural position to you, or how did I mean, I know you played tackle, but which one did you feel like is maybe your more natural position?
I mean, I've started 30-something, 32 games in a row now at tackle. Tackle's going to feel a little bit more normal. That's just what it is. But at the same time, what you guys haven't seen is for the past 5 years, I've been taking snaps at guard. And just Saturdays I play tackle, but Monday through Friday I play all 5 positions. So, I mean, it's not any different really, just moving inside. It's the same calls, it's the same aiming points, it's the same assignments. We got a good guy on my right, good guy on my left. It's awesome having a little help on both sides, but for me, it's really just football, man. It's not like I moved to inside backer or wide receiver. It's still low line. It's still put your hand in the dirt and get busy, get dirty, and that's what I live for.
I'm assuming you got some feedback from the NFL in terms of your future. What kind of feedback were you hearing in terms of where you might fit best?
I mean, they reiterated a lot of things that me and Coach already kind of talked about. A lot of things that I still felt like I needed to work on. They kind of reiterated to me. I mean, when you're on this game, you kind of, being a 6-year guy, kind of know what my flaws are, what areas I really need to focus on. It was nice to hear from their perspective, but at the same time, sitting there, it was a lot of information, but once we kind of broke it down, it was a lot of the stuff that we already kind of felt like, okay, this is what we needed to work on, this is what we needed to focus on.
How long have you known that you kind of want to go into coaching when you're done playing football?
Since I was probably like 6, 7. I used to coach, when I was in high school, I used to coach little 2, 3-year-olds, and when I say it was the time of my life, man, I used to coach them in wrestling, and it was the time of my life. I lived for it, and I think about all the coaches that have impacted me, how much Coach Smith, how much these guys have really changed my life and the path that I was on, and I want to be that for somebody. I think that's my way of giving back to the sport, giving back to the people who have gave to me.
How would you describe your coaching style when working with kids?
I mean, I try to take little bits and pieces. Obviously, Coach M's a master at coaching. He's been doing this forever, so never going to be as good as him. You can only try. But try to take things from him, the way he talks to guys, the way he explains things, and try to approach things similar. Obviously, I have a different relationship with the guys on the team. I'm their peer. I'm not their coach. So there's times where instead of yelling, it just needs to be, hey, man, like, this is what we do. This is how we do it. Especially with the younger guys who are coming in, they don't know it yet. So you don't want to just get in their face and start yelling at them. You got to explain things, and you got to be there for them. You got to be their teammate before you're their coach. So I think I take a much more like friendly and positive approach to it, and I think that's what a teammate should do.
When you look at this particular offensive line on video, how would you describe what this unit is versus some of the other ones you've played at Oregon State? Is it more athletic? Is it stronger and technical? How would you?
I mean, I think you can look at the line and tell that we're bigger. I mean, right out of the gate, you had Tolly, who's a massive human being. You got me moving inside, and we added some size. Obviously, you lose a little bit of experience, but the great thing is that the guys who are stepping in, they have experience too. And they did a great job last year and the year before, sitting and watching news, watching Nate, learning from them. Even though they weren't on the field getting reps, they were getting mental reps. So, I mean, going into the season, I feel like we have every ability to be better than we were last year. Obviously, it's a different group of guys, so you don't really want to compare to apples and oranges. But at the same time, like, you do kind of want to build on what was already started last year. And obviously, I think as an O-line, we had a pretty good year last year. But, I mean, going into this year, I think we're finding our own identity. Obviously, we want to be physical. I mean, that's always been the Oregon State way since I got here, is just be physical up front. So I think that's the identity we're going to strive for. But, we're a new group of guys, so it's going to take a little bit of time to kind of find our own mold and not find somebody else's.
This line obviously lost some experience from last year, but this isn't an inexperienced group. I mean, everybody's got. Yeah. I mean, so you're really not going to fall off in that area, are you?
I don't think that the the change in amount of experience is going to be a massive ordeal whatsoever. I mean, Tolly got a lot of snaps last year. Marco played almost half the season last year. You add in those guys, and not only did they play last year, but I think they're exceptional at sitting in the film room and playing the game in their own mind, watching another guy take these reps and making it their own, learning from their mistakes, learning from their goods and their bads. So because of that, I don't feel like there's a drop-off in experience at all, really. I think it's just more so migrating, getting them comfortable to actually being on the field. They know it already. Now it's just go out and execute it.
Yeah. Back to the coaching thing. Do you have kind of a dream job? Is there one place you want to be 30 years from now?
I mean, no, I don't think in coaching. It's one thing I've kind of learned being in college. In coaching, you don't get that choice. I don't really have any dream job. My dream job would be to be somewhere like here, to be somewhere where I can help develop a culture, where I can be around a group of guys who want to work hard, who want to put their nose down and just work for it. I don't really care where I end up. That's part of the journey. It's part of the fun.
This is your last spring ball as a player. How are you feeling? You have, a couple days left, and then it's on to fall camp.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, when I came in as a freshman at Hawaii, they told me, you're going to blink and you're going to be a senior. And I was like, there's no way. Like, you don't ever believe them. And now I blinked, and it's like 6 years later. I have facial hair now. I spent years trying to get this, and it's like so many things change over that time period. So many little things, so many big things. And being my 6th year, I've had a little bit of opportunity to kind of sit back and appreciate those things, but also appreciate that I have another opportunity in front of me. I get another year. Not everyone gets that chance. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. This has been a blast to get back out here for one more spring ball, come out, just bang people, and just, I mean, it's what I live for. It's what we do. This is what you wake up every morning to do. So it's been a blast.
Looking at the other side, which defensive linemen do you feel like have given you guys the most trouble this spring?
I mean, dude, they're all great up front, honestly. They work hard. Simon is a guy who I'm really close with, one of my best friends on this team, Simon Sandberg, and he is probably one of the hardest workers you'll ever meet. Whether it's in the weight room, whether it's out in the field, I mean, it's anything. We're always competing. We'll be playing video games together and we're competing, and that translates to the field. We got a lot of competitors on that D-line. Same thing at linebacker. A lot of guys who just want to be in the trenches. They want to get up in there in your face, and they want to be physical, which is, I mean, I think when I'm playing a D-line, that's what you look for to see if this D-line's going to be tough or not, and I think our D-line's got that, so.
You mentioned that this year's team still obviously has to find their identity. However, last year's team, the leadership and experience was something that was talked about day in and day out. Can that carry over to this year's squad? You lost a ton of seniors and great leaders, both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I think it has to. I don't think that's a can it or should it. I think it has to. If we want to have any level of success, guys like myself, Chance, just Tristan Jebbia, Jaden, Grant, these guys, all of us, we got to step up and we got to fulfill that role. And I think we've done a great job so far. But I think it's up to us to keep that standard, keep that expectation, and not at one level, but to continually rise it as we move closer to the season.